Yo, 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 welcome back to the Further Your Lifestyle podcast, conversations on lifestyles, passion, and hustles. My name's Chris Furlong, and today, episode number 4, we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and also talking about passion once again, following on from the last couple of weeks. Now, if you are new here, we do have this on YouTube, so you can watch it or you can just listen to it on there as well, but we're on Spotify and we are officially now on Apple Podcasts as well. So whatever floats your boat, whichever is your style, whichever is your jam, get connected, get synced in, and let's get into it. So as I mentioned, what I want to talk to you guys about today is discovering your purpose. And there's a few things we need to cover before that. So the first thing being, over the last couple of weeks, we've been chatting about, pursuing your dreams, chasing your hustles, following your passion, and all that jazz. And a lot of it has been focused more on, I guess, you can be doing this, or you should be doing that, or you should be pursuing dreams. Now, what I want to be very clear on is that you can do what you want to do. Your dream, your lifestyle, your idea of how you want to be living can be anything from working the 9 to 5, the normal jobs, the corporate world, and that's the type of lifestyle you want, right? Your lifestyle could be about going all in on a side hustle and making it work and finding a way to make a living that way, or it could be a combination of both. What I want to be very clear on is that this podcast is not about telling you that you need to be not working in the 9 to 5, or you don't have to work for someone else. But no, it's actually all about that there is so many options, there's so many alternatives, and there's so many different ways to create a living or a lifestyle, whether it is, from just having a side hustle, but more so having a passion. You can be passionate about so many different things, and there's so many different ways that you can make a living or a lifestyle around that passion, right? And it might mean following in your parents' footsteps. It might mean going to university and studying over 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 years, however long it takes. Or it might also mean taking some alternative routes and jumping in, going all in on a side hustle that you've thought of, or an idea, or maybe doing a startup. There's so many different options, right? And that's what this podcast is all about, having those kind of conversations, getting those details from people that are already doing it, and also sharing different opinions and getting people's feedback on that. So I wanted to make that very clear, and I think it's exciting because we live in a world where there is so many different ways to do things that it's great to be able to hear it and talk about it as well. So let's jump straight in. So we're going to touch a bit more on passion again, and we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, and I just want to kind of tie it back up before we jump into discovering your purpose. And you see, when it comes to lifestyle, I mean, your passion really should be what your life consists of, and it's all about seeing how you can design something of your choosing, whatever it looks like. And at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your plan, and you get to call the shots, right? Well, you can, right? I mean, sometimes I think we get so stuck that maybe we can't because we're not in control of certain things. Well, you are, and it all starts with passion, right? You don't need to, or you can follow your parents' footsteps. Maybe they've got a family business, or maybe there's a certain trade, or you don't have to. You don't have to do that either, right? You have a decision to make. You can control what you want to do. You don't need to follow the 9 to 5 norm, or you can jump into that world and follow it and pursue it and make a living from that. You don't need to do the same that everyone else is doing either. But then once again, you can be influenced, you can be inspired, you can be encouraged, and you can follow what other people are doing as well and see what works out for you. The key thing here is that you are in control and you have the opportunity to take action and to make those steps a reality, right? And the good thing is there is so many other people doing it, whether it is your parents, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's other people in industry, other people that are successful. I mean, at the end of the day, success leaves clues. So it's great to be able to see what other people are doing and seeing how you can potentially do something like it or completely different. So you have a choice to make, right? I mean, it all really comes down to what you want to do about it. And fortunately, we live in a world or an age where we have so many tools and we have access to things which enable us to connect to our passion very quickly, right? And it literally all is just a type away, which is maybe on Google or on YouTube, and maybe it's just a conversation with someone, right? But with all these things together, whether it's the internet, technology, or apps, it enables us to grow exponentially, right? Because we have things at our fingertips so quickly, and we can take it in, we can absorb it, we can consume it. But once again, I want to remind you that you control your life, right? And what happens. Now, I know that can be a bit of a, well, Chris, that doesn't really, that's not always the truth. Well, look, we might not be able to control unforeseen circumstances such as what happened last year in 2020 with the big COVID. There was a lot of things there which were out of our control. We could not control those external factors. But what we could control is how we reacted, how we needed to pivot, what did we need to do to adjust. It might have changed our mindsets. We might have had to adapt our mindsets. There was a lot of things that we couldn't control, but then how we were going to handle it is what we can control. Not saying it's easy, but we have the ability to control how we react, right? And that's like with anything in our lives. We get to control how we react and how we navigate and how we get to where we want to go. And I think once you fully understand that, it will give yourself enough room to grow further, to experiment more, take more risks, and enables you to begin to design what this ideal lifestyle or something that you've been dreaming for your entire life. It makes it cleaner and clearer to be able to do. All right, so that's quite a lot to take in, right? But I think if we jump into discovering your purpose. Now, I've got 3 points that I want to go through today. And once again, these are my opinions, some of the notes that I've pulled together over the years, and more than happy to hear from you if you've got thoughts, comments, or maybe there's a difference of an opinion, which is great. That's what it's all about, having those conversations. So you can either leave a comment on the YouTube or connect to me via the show notes. There's links to the different socials or how you can get in contact, and let's have the chat. So point number 1 is values. Know your values, right? And these are the building blocks, right? These are the things that you need to be asking yourself of, what's most important to you, above all else, right? And I'm talking about the zero compromise of areas of who you are. Is it family? Is it health? Is it freedom? Is it honesty? Is it intimacy, playfulness, love, adventure, achievement? It may even be money, but there's so many different things. I guess the list could be infinite, right? I mean, there's so many different things, but pick your top few, right? I'm not going to say pick 3, pick 5, but pick your top few, prioritize them, and what enables you to feel them. You need to identify what enables you and where you're enabled to do them, right? And what will enable you, or what will help you thrive at them. Okay, so this is your foundation. Now, I'm not going to give you the answer because I don't have it, right? It's all about you need to go away, write it down, understand, and really ask yourself the question, okay? Because this will be your compass. If you can follow these and live by them, well, then this is essentially your values, right? And this will help you understand your purpose. Now, they may change. Over the years, things change. We grow up, we mature, life changes, you fall in love, you get married, or you might not, or maybe you stay single. Things change, right? So they may adjust and you might need to reprioritize your values. But I think majority of the time, these core values will remain as consistent parts of who you are naturally, okay? So point number 2, show your superpowers. Now, we all have things that we're naturally superstars at, right? And we kind of touched on that in the last couple of episodes as well, around, what are you good at? What are your talents? What are your passions? What are your hobbies? What do people tell you that you're good at? Now, these are your core strengths, right? Some might even call them gifts. It might be public speaking. It could be teaching. It could be the way you analyze things. It could be the way you have or go about social interaction. Maybe how you influence. Maybe you're a positive guy, or you have a lot of positivity. Is it how you handle discipline? Maybe problem solving. But most of us have a gut feeling of what these are. You know things that you're good at, and you know things that you struggle at as well. But your past experiences will show this as well. But what have people constantly complimented you about? That's probably going to give you some indication of the strength areas. But also, the other way you can find this out and figure it out is checking out the resource that I've got in the show notes, and I'll put it up on screen as well if you're watching on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll call it out. So it's Strengths Finder 2.0. This is a book that you can go through, follow an assessment, and it'll help you identify what are your top 5, but it really defines those strength areas that they believe after doing the assessment, if you fill it out, what you have as strengths. And that's a really great way to be able to help you identify your superpowers. And maybe it might also help you just, oh yeah, I already knew that, but validate some things for you too. So I encourage you to go do that Strengths Finder assessment. You can do it online. Check out the book. There's a link in the description, but it's important to understand your superpowers, but also show those superpowers. So point number 3, and now this is short and sweet, right? We've gone through 1 and 2 already, and we're already up to number 3 of 3, right? So this is about knowing and defining your passion moments. So we've all had them, it's a moment in time or life when, maybe you felt invincible. You feel like everything's working smoothly. You're on top of the world, feel like $1,000,000. This may have come during a work project or a school, assessment or project. It might be while caring for a child, or maybe when exploring a new place, or even cooking a meal, right? So there's so many different things, right? But anything or anywhere where you've probably felt it, right? I mean, it's in those moments where you just feel like everything's smooth. You're in your A game. Things are just happening for you. You're in your element, right? Or you're in your groove. I'm just, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm doing all these funny faces and movements, but it is possible and likely that, you've had more than one, and try and remember these, write them down, note them down, and just so you can call back to them, right? The key thing here is you should be keeping a list of your passion moments. So another question to be asking yourself is, what have you seen people around you do that inspire purpose, right? And that's always a great way to encourage, and you think, oh, wow, that person's doing this, and then you might be able to, reflect it back onto yourself and realize, oh, I had that same experience, or I felt that same thing when I was doing this or doing that. So that might help you, interpret it or put it into a bit more better perspective. But the list will never stop growing, right? And I think, and with every addition, you will gain more clarity, and it will, help light that fire in your belly or continue to let it burn. There's a nice quote. I actually don't know who it's from, unknown at this point. So don't be pushed by your problems, but be led by your dreams. Okay, so the next thing that we need to quickly just touch on, still part of point 3, is, while you're trying to pursue your passion and build out that lifestyle design, a further 3 points or sub-points that you should be considering are these. 1, remembering you call the shots, right? We've kind of touched on this. You're in control, but remember you call the shots. It's okay to get a little selfish, right? At the end of the day, it is your life. So you need to be prioritizing what's important to you and what you want to be doing to take action to progress forwards. And then the third one is embracing change and just doing it, right? Giving it a go, giving something a chance to see if it sticks. And that really does sum it up, right? Let me jump back up to the 3 points. We've talked about knowing your values, understanding what's important to you and what's really driving you towards things, and where are they? Is it with health? Is it with family? Is it for money? Is it for adventure? Understand what those values are. The next is understanding your superpowers, or knowing your strengths, right? Understanding where you fly and where you don't necessarily fly, but understanding these and the types of things that you're good at will enable you once again to lock down that bigger purpose and passion. And then third is knowing and defining passion moments. Those moments where you do feel in your element, the moments where you do feel like, hey, everything's in control, that you're flying, that you've got things all sorted. It's important, right? And then we've kind of just talked about, remembering once again, you call the shots. Make sure you are selfish when looking, trying to build out your purpose. It's okay to be a bit selfish and look after yourself, right? And embrace the change and start to just do it. Which kind of brings me to the end, right? It's time to step out and actually just embrace it. It's time to, pursue that passion and embrace that passion and get started on what will be a long, amazing journey, but also, it's not going to be easy. It's a roller coaster of, well, a lot of the time, to be honest. And start to design something which reflects you perfectly, right? And that's the beauty of it. You are creating something which you are proud of, that you are comfortable with. It might mean that you have financial freedom to be able to go on leave or take a holiday at any point in time, or it might mean that you just want to sit at a desk working for someone else and then just, live the nice family life after hours and on the weekends and on your days off. There's no right or wrong answer. You get to define this. You are in control, right? So you alone are the captain of this ship, right? And it's time to, pull anchor and set sail, right? It's time to just move onwards, because look, there's ships sailing all the time. There's things moving, changes, there's opportunities opening, there's doors opening, and they're all leaving without you. You just got to hop on one. You need to take the action, step out and do it. But I think those 3 points we've kind of discussed will help bring some perspective. Now, how you can go about doing all this is, I would suggest, is if you're listening to this, is maybe go back, jump back into those, and then just take some time and write it down. Go through the different areas we've discussed around the values. Do that Strengths Finders assessment. And then also try and play back some of those moments where you have felt in your key element. That's it, folks. That's episode number 4. Short and sweet today. And this was actually something that I have been working on for a very long time. I wrote this short piece. It was going to be a blog originally, and I was looking through it and I realized, now let's jump on this, because I believe that this is important to hear. It may be a little too high level for some people, but at the same time, I believe it's probably enough to give people some juice, some push, and maybe even a kick or a nudge to take the next steps and, go out there and start digging and diving in a little deeper. Okay. So it's so exciting to be here. Once again, I'm so happy to have such positive feedback, all the comments that I've been getting and support, and just, having listeners download the podcast and listening is just, it's quite amazing. It's very exciting. So I really do appreciate you being here. Now, we will be having guests on this show very, very soon. It may even be episode number 5, but stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are following along, whether it's on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. Get connected and jump on over to Instagram as well. We'll be releasing content there, giving little teasers and try not to do spoilers, but just giving you some hype and sharing things during the week, as we are releasing weekly at this point. So get connected. Let me know what you thought. Really do appreciate you being here. My name's Chris Furlong. I'm the host of the Further Your Lifestyle podcast, and it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Have a nice day.